I was thinking the other day, why is it so hard for so many of us new YouTubers to actually like express ourselves to the camera? And you know, it goes beyond just learning how to speak to the camera, because we all have like psychological baggage, like our doubts, our fears, our insecurities, that I think are big hurdles to be able to just get comfortable speaking to a camera when we know that we're going to post the video publicly. But really, I was thinking more about like trying to express meaningful things, like things that are truly meaningful to us, and finding the right words in order to express them, you know, and give them life, and be able to share them with other people in a way that might be meaningful to them. And, you know, I was thinking probably it's because so many of us, we don't have that much practice. Because like, for the most part, I think we go through life without really expressing ourselves too often in like truly meaningful ways, like, you know, looking deep inside ourselves and identifying things that are truly meaningful to us, and then finding the words to really adequately express those things. I think we just don't have very much practice. And so it's like, not only do you have the hurdle of learning how to speak to a camera and getting over all that psychological baggage, but then it's like compounded by, wow, if you really want to say meaningful things, just like any other skill, you have to develop it, you know, over time through practice. You know, it made me think of James Joyce is, at least in like the English-speaking world, one of the most celebrated novelists of the 20th century. And he wrote, probably most famous for writing a novel called Ulysses. And there was a story while he was writing Ulysses, he ran into, you know, met on the street or whatever, another writing friend. And the guy was like, you know, hey, James, you know, how'd it go today writing? And James was like, man, I only wrote 2 sentences. And the guy was like, oh, I get it. You know, you're just like, it was really hard trying to find the right words. And he was like, no, man, I had the right words. I just couldn't find the right order to put them in. You know, and it really speaks to, like, for James Joyce, writing Ulysses was really meaningful. I mean, it came, you know, deep from within, and it took all of his skill to be able to express what he wanted to express in that novel. And he worked all day, and he produced 2 sentences just because he had the right words. It was just trying to put them in the right order. And I think that really speaks to the difficulty almost all of us have. I mean, if James Joyce had that problem, it's like, you know, new YouTubers like, you know, all of us, we really have that problem. It's like, not only do we have to try to identify, you know, the meaningful things inside, but then figuring out the words to express them. It's just really hard, and it takes a lot of practice. You know, and the other day I posted my 47th video, and it was horrible. It took me like 2 hours to produce this thing, and it's like, it was like the worst experience out of all my videos. I'm like, why is this so hard? You know, and it's interesting because like something told me later that day, it was like, or something reminded me about this Bruce Lee video. It was a famous interview he gave. It was the one where he's like, "Be water, my friend." And I'll post a link in the end screen because he can talk about this obviously far better than I can. But there was a point in the interview, because I watched it when I remembered this, and there's a quote, and he says, he's talking about martial arts. He says, honestly expressing yourself. Now it is very difficult to do. To express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly. Now that, my friend, is very hard to do. You know, and it's interesting, in a matter of like 60 seconds, twice, he said how hard it is to express yourself honestly. You know, and it's like, I mean, for James Joyce, for Bruce Lee, you know, or for anything else, anybody else, it's just hang in there, right? Because it's like you have so many hurdles to get over in order to produce something that's meaningful. You know, it's like finding the meaningful thing, learning how to express yourself, plus, you know, getting over the psychological hurdles of putting it out there to the world. You know, it reminds me of a quote by Mike Tyson. He's like, you know, it's hard to beat somebody who refuses to quit. So just like, don't stop trying. I mean, it's like, it's worth it. It's worth it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.